Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Aquarius in the month of September 2018. Hello, Aquarius. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. As you can see, Aquarius, I went ahead and I shuffled off camera to save time, so that's your main spread there. What I'm going to do now is shuffle for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all cards are out and lying face up, that's when the reading will begin. You're going to see a timestamp in the box below for when that actually happens, so you can go ahead and click there if you want to jump ahead. Also down there, wow, I'm going to have to pick those up in a second. Also down there, you're going to see information on how to go about getting a personal reading with me if you are ever so inclined to do so. It's about 3 or 4 steps, and all that is down in the description box below. I'm going to pick up all of the cards that fell. I wasn't shuffling with anything with any intention, so these don't count. But they did kind of go everywhere, so actually give me a second. Okay, Aquarius, I apologize about that. Alright, so now, like I said, your spread's out here. We'll shuffle with the intention for your outcome and your overall energy. Outcome for Aquarius in September 2018, please. Alright, let's get it. I will say your cards weren't sticking or they didn't feel tense per se, Aquarius, but it was difficult to get this spread. Things were not cooperating, so that might mean something to you, and I kind of, yeah, this one. Okay, that one. And I flipped it over even though I didn't have to. But things just felt a little hard to pull out or come out, okay? So, we'll reveal all the cards. Come on, lack of fingernails, don't fail me now. And like I said, once everything is out and up, we're gonna get started. Okay. Where is Aquarius for the month of September, please? Please show me where Aquarius is in September. Here? Got it. Thank you. All right, Aquarius, coming into September 2018, you come in as the 8 of Cups. Just about every sign, and you're obviously the 11th sign of the Zodiac, so I've done 10 before you, but many have gotten this card in September, Aquarius, and I think it just might be sort of it's like a sprinkle or like a common denominator in many people's readings, in many Zodiac readings that I've done so far. And for you, yeah, okay, for you, it's similar to some other signs. Traditionally, as I've said in previous videos, this card in the Rider-Waite deck shows a person walking away from a dissatisfying situation, a situation that doesn't give them emotional contentment. But this guy is like really parked there. He's really sitting down. He's really like focused and sort of moping or mourning the loss that he has experienced. And I think you're doing that a little bit, Aquarius. But also what I'm getting is like you're actually trying to understand it. Like beyond feeling sad, beyond feeling like bad for yourself or feeling like, oh, woe is me, nothing ever works out in my life. Like you're really trying to get down to the nitty gritty and understand all of it. So understand what you did in this situation that has caused you discontentment, that makes you feel unsatisfied. Figure out what other people did, figure out what the specifics or the details of the situation were, what were the contributing factors. If it wasn't a situation where it was really based on people and it was something that happened to you without others' involvement, go back, please, thank you. Oh boy. Okay, so obviously 8 of Cups talks about emotional fulfillment or lack thereof, right? And often we associate that with the relationship. So for those where it was a relationship, platonic love, romantic love, familial relationships, roommates, whoever, there were other people involved and you were kind of trying to understand what you did to contribute to things not going the way that you had hoped, And you're also trying to understand the other person's point of view, or what they contributed, where they were coming from, what, what things were sort of on their agenda is how that's coming across. Things like this. For those where this isn't necessarily about a relationship, it's about a circumstance, a situation, a certain contract or agreement that you had, either with a person, or maybe like with an institution, or maybe like with a contractor, I'm getting for some of you, and deals fell through, or it's something that's persisting, but you're not happy in it. You're trying to figure out why. Okay, so thank you for helping me clear that up. Okay, so, and like I said, the difference between you and other signs that have gotten this is like theirs has been really like, I'm sad, 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 I'm sad. Okay? And you are obviously sad. You're obviously upset about something. You're not, this is not a card that says I'm jumping for joy and I'm over the moon about what has transpired or what's going on in my life right now. But for you, Aquarius, like I said, it's like you're really trying to, like you're putting on your detective's cap. Like you're getting into, like you're looking over documents in some cases, or you're going back over emails and text messages with a fine-tooth comb. You're talking to other people who might have been in the peripheral of your relationship, or who were kind of, somewhat objective observers of your relationship, and you're trying to piece together all the parts that you don't understand. But the bottom line is you lost something, or either you've lost something, a relationship, a contract, an agreement, a job, whatever, or you've lost your faith in something, or your belief in something, your affinity for something. Something was lost, okay? And also different than the other signs, I don't feel like you're wrecked by this. Like, I forget who I did it for, but like, you look at this scene, right? Because in the traditional Rider-Waite, the 8 cups, all of them are standing upright, and it's basically saying, silver linings, or not silver linings, I'm sorry, but the best is yet to come. You can find, you can go out and find your 9th cup, your 10th cup, and kind of have that fulfillment. Here it's like, well, a lot of those cups are tipped over. This guy looks like he's been marooned on an island, and there's like a boat or a ship in the back that has been destroyed. And so for other signs, like, and I hate to bring up other signs, but that's kind of, I feel like that's something that you're resonating on right now, is like comparing notes to other people. So I hope that's not offensive to you, or I hope it's not invasive to you, but that's kind of what the energy is for me right now, dealing with your energy, Aquarius. But for the other signs, it was really like destructive for them, this feeling like they were just destroyed. And maybe you were at some point, Aquarius, maybe at some point you were feeling destroyed. You were feeling as if you had nothing that you could fall back on, or no way that you could sort of restructure your life or get back out there or something like that. But that's not going on right now. You're very much ready to rebuild your life, put the pieces back together, clean up the mess, and move on from it. So in that way, the traditional interpretation of the 8 of Cups is here for you. You're like, okay, this is not satisfactory to me. This hurts me. This displeases me. This angers me. This frustrates me. This depresses me. It saddens me, whatever. I don't want to be here anymore. So in that way, you got a little bit of a better reading than some of the other signs, because you're not going to sit here forever. You're just not, okay? But that's like, again, I asked for the starting position, so that's kind of like where you're coming from previous time to this time when you're watching this video. So August, July, June, maybe 2017, maybe 2016. Maybe some of you have been in this energy for a long time, but the general feeling is that you are about to make moves, or you're getting yourself ready. You're getting yourself mentally, and in this case more so emotionally, ready to pick up the pieces and move on to something else, and move on to something bigger and better, or just to repair the damage that was done and have a moment of like peace and calm before you do something else. Okay, now what I get here is, okay, I think some of you have a support system in the King of Cups. Okay. Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, dealing with the water element. So maybe there's a water sign around you of significance. But this person doesn't have to be this. And I do feel it's mostly an external person because, I mean, the position is he's looking right at your starting position, and he looks very concerned, right? He doesn't look like he's got a keen eye on you, Aquarius. I'm going to say that. He's watching you. So in some cases, this is like someone that you trust, someone that you have a very strong bond with. This could be your parent. This would be your father or your mother. The gender is not relevant on the card. It could be your mother is exuding or sitting in the King of Cups energy right now. It could be a best friend. It could be a roommate. It could be a coworker. It could be anybody. It could be someone that you just met, but they this person would really care about you. And the type of relationship that you have is one of high affinity. You guys mutually love each other, respect each other. You get along pretty well, but this person has like a wealth and a depth of emotion that kind of is what you need right now. You need someone who's a great listener, and the King of Cups would be a fantastic listener for you, Aquarius. So there's really like this shoulder that you have been or can cry on. Either you've been doing it, or you can do it, or you will do it. Okay. And Aquarius, you're kind of known to be a little detached, just like all the other air signs. But I think when it comes to whatever you've lost, whatever situation this is pertaining to, you might need this person more than you've ever needed them before. Or this is a side of you that you're getting in touch with. If for those of you where you're very much like a solo or a lone wolf, and you don't really have many friends, or you're not very close with a lot of people, this could then just be your own energy, and you're trying to recognize and value your own vulnerability, because the expression on the face is one of trying to discern what exactly is going on. I'm getting a lot of watching, a lot of observation, studying. So some of you, this could be like you might be in college or in a certain course, and this is like someone who's like in that course with you, or it's your professor, or you're the professor, and I don't know. But there's something about really watching keenly, like with laser sharp focus, for the sake of understanding the emotional repercussions, the emotional investment, and the emotional invulnerability of a person or of a situation, or of what is needed in a situation or in a relationship. I hope that makes sense. That was a lot of ors, but plug it in where you see fit. I feel mostly that is an external energy from you, Aquarius, but for some of you, it can be your own energy. And, okay, thank you. Let's go back. In other cases, or, perhaps in tandem with what I just said, this is the person or one of the people who is the cause of this in your life, okay? Aquarius, so some of you, again, it doesn't have to be, but this person is sitting in their water energy. So this person, like I said, has a wealth and a depth of emotion, has a huge, like, ocean full of emotions, but doesn't really express it. And I should have clarified that before, but it goes on both sides of the explanation or the interpretation. The King of Cups is someone who always knows what he feels, but does not always articulate it, does not always express it, does not always give the details and the reasons and the whys or whatever. It's just sort of like a statement of fact. All of the kings are to some degree reserved, or, like I said, stoic, where they're not always out there demonstrating they're not always working. Come on, help me. They're not always carrying the flag. Thank you. I'm not a fan of that phrasing, but whatever. They're not always carrying the flag of their suit. So cups deal with emotional capacities, emotional maturity, love, as well as hate or happiness as well as sadness, all of it, like a gamut of things. And that's all very deep and complex, right? But the King of Cups is not going to walk around displaying that 24/7. So for some of you, Aquarius, this is who you were dealing with. Someone who had a boatload of emotions, but never really expressed it to you. Or this is you, and you didn't do it in your relationship. When you were together with your ex, or you were together living under your parents' roof, or whatever your situation was, whatever this Eight of Cups is calling back to in a relationship sense, this could have been you. So apply it where it needs to be applied, okay? And whoever this is, you or someone else, just never really let that guard down. Never really let the spectrum or the nuance of those emotional states and really out in full force. A lot of them, or you were guarded, like I said, had defenses up, had guards up, and were unwilling. Like I said, I think I mentioned it here, something about vulnerability. We're unwilling to be vulnerable. We're unwilling to invest completely or invest beyond a certain point. There was always a blockade up, because as much as this can be an expression of studying and observing and being curious or trying to understand, it can also be an expression of caution. It can be an expression that says, I don't know if I want to invest in that. I don't know if I want to go over there. I don't know if I want to tell this person what I'm actually feeling, what I'm actually thinking. So there, and I think I used the word earlier, discernment. So no matter how you slice it, the King of Cups, whoever it is, they're using keen discernment, because again, they are aware of their emotions. They are aware of how they feel and how they think about a situation, but whether or not they express it, whether or not they share it with other people, that's a different story. All right? So that's all tied together here. Where are we going next? Because okay. Here? Right? Maybe not. Or yes. Come on. See? This is what I said when I was shuffling your cards. It's like, it's there, but it's not coming out. Like, taking its time to reveal itself. Where next, please? Show me. Okay, thank you. Because I was like, are you sure? Whatever. Eight of Wands. So, Aquarius, after this has happened, whether it's happened to you already, or it is happening, or it will in the future, sometime thereabouts, there's this Eight of Wands energy that you're dealing with. Some of you are projecting the Eight of Wands, some of you are receiving it, but regardless, it's like it's shared in this situation. It's shared in the relationship. So Eight of Wands is traditionally a card of communications, fast communication, passionate communication. It can also be not sharp, but it can be in some cases tactless because of how fast it comes, or it can be misunderstood because it arrives so quickly, and all of that. And in this case, I'm going to say that is in here. I feel like someone is making plans and they're not like, okay, someone's putting the cart before the horse, okay? Someone speaks out of turn, someone says too much, someone says too little, and there is this feeling of like communication gone awry, or communication that isn't clear. Like, even though it's in the upright position, I'm feeling like it's just like, or it comes out of nowhere, it's unexpected, and because it's unexpected, it's kind of offensive, or like I said, it's not fully understood. So in some cases, maybe for you, Aquarius, this is a relationship. Again, it doesn't have to be romantic, where maybe you had a fallout with someone. You're not speaking, but they're watching you or you're watching them, whatever it is. And then out of nowhere, after a long period of silence, boom, there's communication. And it's sort of erratic, or it's sort of random. If it's not erratic, it's like totally random. So, thank you. So for some of you who are sports fans of American football, the football season just started, right? So for some of you, you haven't talked to this person for months, maybe even a year or so. And then out of nowhere, here comes a text message. How about those New York Jets, or how about those Cowboys, or how about whoever, whatever team? And it's sort of like, what? You came, like, you're messaging me about the football game? Like, yeah, okay, I'm happy that my team won, or I'm sad that they lost, whatever the case may be, but we are not on those kind of speaking terms. Not anonymous person, but whoever you're dealing with, Aquarius, or you're speaking to them, and that's how they're feeling. Like, what, Aquarius? What are you talking about? We haven't talked for a long time, and this is the first thing that you say to me. And again, it doesn't have to be specifically about football. Not everybody likes football. Not everybody likes sports, believe it or not. So, but the subject matter, or the way in which the message is delivered, is very odd. It's like out of nowhere. It's very random, okay? In other cases... Oh, come back. I just had you. Come back. Okay. In other cases, like, this is what you... Yeah, okay. This is what you want to do. So in other cases, there is still that wall of silence, and whether or not you actually act on it is one thing, but a lot of you want to just, like, spill it all. Spill the tea, spill the beans, just whatever you've kept to yourself regarding this person, regarding the situation or the relationship that you shared. You just want to go and sort of profess a truth. And with that truth of what regarding what has happened, you also want to talk about what's next. Like, this is where, like, that sort of stagnant energy, it was like semi-stagnant here in the Eight of Cups, right? Now gets some momentum behind it, and now you're, like, ready to, like, turn your engines on and go. And so some of you feel like it's the right thing to do to tell this person, or to give some type of notice about what's going on in your life on your side of things, okay? So Aquarius, you could be moving to a new city. Eight of Wands can sometimes talk about actual physical movement. So some of you are moving away, moving homes. Some of you are leaving your job and going to another job, or you've been assigned to a certain place and your contract is up wherever you were working or living. And so you just want to tell someone, like, this could have been a relationship or a friendship, whatever it is, that was based in work, contractual work. So maybe some of you were, living abroad, and now you have to go home, or you've been living at home and now you have to go abroad, whatever. And so you have to tell someone that you were close with. Like, I still feel there, for most of you, it's going to be that wall of silence. It's going to be that you're not really talking at all. And if you are talking, it's very, like, high and by, very, like, pleasantries. It's not real, like, conversation. So you're going to have to, like, step up your game and kind of come in sort of like Fast and the Furious in a way. Because, I mean, the wands are being thrown in the air. This guy's doing some strange, like, ballet leap. And then you've got, like, those lightning bolts above the wand. So that just indicates speed, 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 quickly, quickly, quickly. And again, there's this feeling of motion in the card. And so for some of you, it's like you're sort of dropping a bomb on somebody, or they're dropping it on you. I'm moving to Florida. What? When? Next week. What? And maybe, this wall of silence that has gone on between you and a person and someone isn't necessarily negative. It could be amicable. It could just be, people fall out, or, you date someone and then you both agree to break up, but then you kind of don't really go into that friendship zone. It could be something like that. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, and there's a bird there, so they were telling me flying. So yeah, some of you are taking a flight. Maybe that's something that's a big deal within this dynamic between you and this person, or in this situation. Maybe you've never flown before, and it's kind of like a big deal. And maybe you're like really excited. You know, like I've never flown. Maybe, yeah, maybe I've never flown before, and you're telling someone that you are not really speaking with, or that you're like casual with, or just an acquaintance with, or like I said, you haven't talked to them for a year, and you're like, I'm going on my first airplane ride, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's great news, Aquarius, awesome. And you're like, I'm going to Denmark, and they're like, whoa, that's a big first trip. And it's like, that has nothing to do with, in some cases, this terrible breakup that you've had, this terrible argument that you've had that put up that wall of silence, but you kind of get in the mix by mentioning something that isn't super relative to both of you. It's really more relative to you, whoever's delivering the message. It's like a really subjective message, like, oh, I'm doing this thing now. And it's not for fishing purposes. It really is because the silence between you, or the silence and the stiffness in the situation, is uncomfortable. I was going to say unbearable. So for some of you, maybe it's unbearable, but I feel it's mostly uncomfortable. Like, you would prefer things to flow easily. You don't want to have grudges. You don't want to have this continued wall of silence. You want things to mosey along, okay? We got there. We did it. And again, I feel it's mostly your energy, by the way, Aquarius, if that hasn't been clear. It could be the other person or other people involved, but I do feel that this is mostly your reading, okay? Like, when I'm saying you, I'm usually referring to you, but flip it around if it goes the other way. It is a general reading. Now, what's propelling this want to communicate, or this desire and this action towards communication, and this slow, I shouldn't say slow, but this paced out exiting from like quicksand, I feel, is like an energy that, or this was like a situation, or the reflecting on this situation was like, thank you. The sticking to the Eight of Cups energy was like being in quicksand. It was slowly pulling you under. And you are making moves to get out of that quicksand energy. And you're making moves to begin to communicate your next best steps, or what you're planning for your future, what you're doing in your life in general. Now, what propels both of those energies is the Fool card. And everything's upright. That's good, by the way. It's not always indicative of goodness, but they just had me talk about that. So this is good in your case, Aquarius. Now, the Fool. Taking leaps of faith, jumping off a cliff and saying, to hell with all the consequences, to hell with where I fall. I could break both my ankles, but it would still be a good time. I'm not saying to literally do that. I'm not saying that you're going to come into physical harm and it's going to be a-okay. That's not what I'm saying. The idea is that the Fool is very foolhardy. He does not let caution and apprehension hold him back. He is willing to take the risk. He is willing to go out, like I said, on a leap of faith. And it's not necessarily about confidence. It's about desire. It's about will. It's about whim. Okay? Yeah, the Fool has no ego, right? He's card 0, right, in the Major Arcana. So he has no real form. And I'm saying he simply because it's a male. If you're a female and you're watching this, apply it to yourself as well. So the Fool has no shape. What do I mean? He has no formed identity. He's a mound of clay. He's going to be plopped down on that spinning wheel, and Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore are going to come along and mold something out of him, okay? Like, that's what's going on. And so that's where you, like, yes, that's what I was talking about here in the Eight of Cups, rebuilding yourself, remolding yourself. There's, like, this reinvention, or this feeling of needing to be reinvented, Aquarius, and you're, like, all for it. Like, if you have apprehension, it's because this is still nearby. The Fool energy, it's still nearby. It's still contacting this energy. But, like I said, this is dissipating. And with the other cards I see out here, I think you can triumph. You might come back to this every once in a while. That's human nature. Nobody can be happy all the time. Nobody can be sad all the time. Things fluctuate. Things go in rhythms. Things go in patterns sometimes, right? But there's this feeling of reemergence, rebirth, is sometimes associated with the Fool card. And like I said, it's like not about ego. It's about willingness. It's about desire. It's about, I can't stay here a minute longer, or what I want isn't within these four walls. It's not in this relationship. It's not in this job. It's not with this behavior in my life or this mindset in my life. So I'm leaving it behind. I'm leaving you behind. I'm leaving this place behind, and I am going. I got my little dog in tow. I'm teetering on the edge of this cliff, and I'm going to jump. And the Fool is not afraid to jump. Where you might be afraid, where you might have that apprehension, again, is in the Eight of Cups. But in general, Aquarius, you're more than ready for this. You might be like overly ready. Or you might fluctuate, right? Because you've got Ace of Cups and you've got Ace of Wands here. Ace of Wands, of course, is the card of go, associated again with the Wands suit, fire energy. And the Cups can be a little bit more melancholy, a little bit more I don't want to say depressed, but melancholy, a little bit more apprehensive and like fearful. There's usually a pretty strong lack of fear when you're talking about Wands cards. Cups, they can hold a little bit of fear and apprehension and anxiety and things like that. So you might be swinging between those two extremes. And, I don't want to be offensive by using that terminology, but that might literally be what some of you are doing. So you wake up one day and you're feeling really crummy and your life is just not going to get better. You can't get over this person. You can't get over the loss. You can't get over how awful you feel every time you have to go to work or whatever your situation is. And then the next day you're feeling like really inspired. You're feeling really like you can take on the world. You can do anything. You can accomplish whatever your dreams are. And you are ready to go out there and kick butt. And that lasts for a few days, and then this comes back. So the common energy, or like I said earlier, the common denominator here in this case is the Fool. The Fool is ready. You just have to commit. And that might be not an issue of caution, but I think it's an issue of belief. And I think I mentioned that somewhere before, having faith, having belief. If you don't have the faith, if you don't have the belief that the leap won't hurt you, the leap will be towards something better, even if you don't recognize it upon arrival. You jump off the cliff as the Fool, you land where you land, and maybe Aquarius, you're expecting everything to be in its place already, for your emotions to be fixed, for your mental state to be full of clarity and all of that. It's not. Nothing in life really ever works that way, where it's like boom, everything is fixed. All the areas of concern, all the aspects that need to be balanced and fair and honest and all of that. It doesn't happen at the snap of a finger. It doesn't happen at the drop of a hat. It doesn't happen when you when you initiate the risk, when you initiate the jump. It builds over time. So I think that might be what's holding you back, or not holding you back, excuse me. It's restraining, it's preventing you from having true faith. That was an issue for other signs. I know Leo was one, your opposite sign. Was it also Virgo? It was someone else. A few other signs, like I said, have had this issue with patience. I'm not necessarily seeing that here. I think you are faring better than, say, Leo or whoever else. But I think there is this underpinned idea that you should keep in your mind, which is it's not going to happen as quickly as you want it to, or it's not going to come in the package or in the specifics that you were thinking it would come. Okay? So relax. Let go of that because Aquarius, you're not really a sign of control, but I think because you've come from such a shaky past, or you've come from such a disappointing past, that you kind of want to get it right this time. That is more your energy. It's not about control, but you do want to get it right. You want it to reflect what you know or what you think is the truth. Okay? All right. Now, back up here to the Eight of Wands and the Eight of Cups, how they merge here on the Nine of Pentacles. So for some of you in a relationship, like a romantic relationship scenario, this is what you want, this is what you're concerned about, this is what you are moving towards, and this is, in some cases, what you are fearing and what you are not really on board with, okay? So we're gonna have to take this two different ways, okay? But they share this, okay? So the Nine of Pentacles is that single ladies card. You don't have to be a single lady for this card to apply to you. You can be a man and be in this energy. But she is the self-made woman. She's got her pentacles there. She's got her lovely garden outside. She's got a car in the drive. She has a lovely home. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. She must have two homes, or maybe that's like the garage. Never mind. So it's the garage. And she's got her wine and her fresh fruit out there. She's living it up, but she's by herself. Single ladies, okay? And she is typically, in the traditional understanding of this card, she is contented to be this way because she worked really hard to get here. She worked really hard on herself. She worked really hard at her job, on her emotions, on her mental clarity and her mental space. She's worked hard on her physical body. Whatever was her goal that's going to make her feel like, you know, a fabulous lady, just I can take over the world, I can do whatever I want, I'm a boss. Whatever she was working on, she did it. And she continues to do it, and that energy perpetuates itself. So for some of you, that's an energy that you want. You want to be a successful and independent woman, or who lives on their own, who pays their rent and all their bills and has money to spare to go out and party, or go out and enjoy the hobbies or travel or do whatever. Some of you really want that energy. You haven't had it. You had this relationship where you were tied to someone who was like, you know, made of concrete, and they really never showed themselves, and you didn't have that emotional reciprocity. So now you're like, okay, let me get right with me. Let me get myself back to my center, and then I'll be ready to start dating again. Some of you realize, like, that's the reset button that you need, is to feel fabulous all on your own. And once you get there, then you can start pulling in other people. For others of you, those who are more here and those who aren't really as far along the journey as others might be, you see this energy and you're like, no, I don't want to be single. Like, some of you in some ways want a bad situation to continue, or you want to revive a bad situation that you know is bad. You want to get back with someone, or rekindle something with someone that you know was not emotionally available, or someone who was not emotionally supportive to you, simply because you don't want this. The irony about this card is, while she might be contented and while she might be very proud of herself, the female, or the woman, why did I say or the woman? The female / woman depicted in the Nine of Pentacles, there's irony in her depiction because she is alone. Many cards in the tarot deck, you have people who are alone, but it's very obvious that she's alone. She has this amazing estate in the other deck. She's in a garden. She's in a fabulous dress. And here she's got a great view. She's got a car in the drive. She's got that little bird with her. She's got flowers. She's got all the food she needs. She has amazing, luxurious surroundings, but she's by herself. And so the idea is, I've worked to get myself to this point where I am feeling fabulous. I'm feeling phenomenal. I feel empowered. I feel structured. I feel stable, but I have no one to share it with. So it's sort of like you're on either side of that, Aquarius. You pick your side. You know how you feel more than I know how you feel. But that's it. You either are welcoming that energy, you're like, yes, I need to be standing on my own 2 feet. I can't wait to pay my bills. I can't wait to go on vacation by myself to Brazil. I'm looking forward to it. Rio, here I come. You know, others you were like, oh, I have these tickets to go to Rio, but I'm going by myself. Like some of you are like that. So you're going to pick what side you're on. But in general, there is, who is this? Oh, it's chilly in here. Who's this? An admirer. Okay, good. Yeah. So in either position, here and here, you've got people watching you. This person, I feel this is mostly a friendly energy. For some, it could be potential lover. But either way, you don't recognize this person. Okay, the Prince of Wands. Fire energy, or Wands dealing with fire suits, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Doesn't have to be anybody of those signs, but it could be. Don't adhere to it. Don't be strict about it. But whoever this person is, you don't recognize them, meaning you're not attracted to them. In some cases, like they like you, but you're like, we're friends. Let's be friends. Or it's you to them and you're like, oh man, Prince of Wands, you're so cute. And they're like, huh? What'd you say? And you're like, nothing, I didn't say anything. You know, you're like keeping it to yourself. There's sort of like a different wall of silence between you and this person. This wall of silence is one of like a confession. Like there's things that can be confessed, emotions that can be confessed, feelings of amorous feelings and feelings of, yeah, there's like some sensuality here a little bit because he's got that wand in his hand and wands are kind of phallic. So, you know, there is a sexual energy here a little bit. Like it's an immature sexual energy. Like this might be a very new person to you. Thank you. This could be someone that you've just met or someone who's like in your friend circle, but you've never like hung out with them, like one-on-one. It's always been in a big group of people, or you've seen them in like a high and by situation. And I think what keeps this person in your realm, or the reason they're in your realm, is because this person is also very like, they have a good amount of energy. I'm not going to say they have an abundant or an amazing amount of energy, but they have a lot of energy in that they have ideas, they have plans, they have things that they're working towards, and they're creative and they're spontaneous sometimes, but they also, you know, aren't flying off the handle. You know, they're not crazy, with their energy. They're because it's a, did I say page, by the way? I may have said page. Maybe I didn't. Prince. But the prince is relative to the knights, not the pages. So if I said page, I apologize. But the Prince of Wands would be equivalent to the Knight of Wands in the traditional Rider-Waite deck. So there is this potential for this person to have a lot of energy and to have a lot of spunk in them. They have a lot of ideas, and they might, like, yeah, this person, they can be that way. They can be that way, but maybe with you, thank you, maybe with you, because they know what you've been through, some of them, they may have seen this breakup or seen how this situation stressed you out and made you feel down on yourself and all that kind of stuff. They might be treating you with kid gloves. They might be giving you a lot more patience, a lot more of their time. They might, you know, be less spontaneous with you because they don't want to sort of throw you into a tizzy because they know that their energy is like, it's unmanageable sometimes. Okay, so that's it. Thank you. Because I was like, Prince of Wands, Knight of Wands, yeah, that's a go, go, go energy. But this was feeling like, I could, but I'm not going to. Excuse me. And so that's what I'm getting. And this person, If it's not a romantic connection, if it's not a sexual thing between you and this person, this would then again just be a good friend of yours or someone who you're getting to know, and you just feel this inexplicable tie to this person, or they feel that towards you, or it's mutual, and you both are looking this way, right? His eyes are on you, your eyes are on the Eight of Wands. So there's this sort of projected long-term or downfield vision that you both might have. And because it is wands, it could be creative. So this could be someone that you're working with. This could be someone who, is a new hire at your job, or you've moved to wherever because you were like telling someone, all right, I'm out of here. I'm going to go live over in wherever for the next 15 months or something like that. But so, like I said, it could be a new acquaintance, and your tie together is one of creation. Yours is one of industry. So you work together and you guys just get along, like boom, like right out the gate. You guys are like really good friends. And that connection is there. Like it's really strong. Well, I shouldn't say it's really strong. It has the potential to be strong. It could build quickly, or it can fortify quickly. Thank you. It can solidify quickly. And because it's a Prince of Wands, a Knight of Wands, it's still impressionable. It's still young. It's not as young as the pages or princesses, but it is still this younger energy. It's this energy where it's, like I said, it's not really solid. It's not really formed, but it is dynamic. Or this person is dynamic. This person is open. They're way more open than the King of Cups. If the King of Cups is still in your vicinity, if after this wall of silence comes down, if you invite that energy back in, or that energy comes back to you and you receive it, this person is going to be like, hey, what's up, Aquarius, blah, blah, blah. And they check in on you. They send you memes. They send you jokes. You guys talk on the phone. You guys Skype call each other, blah, blah, blah. And the King of Cups is still doing like that slow drip communication of, texting you every 3 days, or responding to text messages 3 days later, whatever. This person is like on it. And Aquarius, you can vibe on both of those. It's up to you to determine which one is what you need in your life right now. Do you need, or do you appreciate, can you value, and can you handle the slow drip? Or do you need, value, desire, and can you rock with the more rapid fire communication, rapid fire invitations to go and hang out, spontaneous energy? Not so much here with the King of Cups. And in some cases, it's not actually a decision between two people as far as dating, as far as rekindling any relationships, as far as opening up relationships. It's not about that. It's about the energy. What type of energy do you want to associate yourself with? Do you want to associate yourself with the energy of someone who's contained, who isn't very open, or is slowly possibly working on that in some cases, or do you want to rock with somebody who's already open, already engaged, already willing and able to compromise and meet you in the middle? Your choice, your decision, okay? Outcome. I didn't even see it, because when I'm doing these, I'm usually looking at the camera, and I'm looking out here. I don't ever really look at the board until I turn to it. And so what I just said about it doesn't necessarily have to be a choice between two people, blah, blah, blah. I see your outcome, 3 of Cups. So I lied. Well, I didn't lie, but I may have spoken too soon. 3 of Cups. You might literally be choosing between, do I want to go back and rock with the King of Cups, my ex, or somebody who I never really dated, but it was convoluted and weird, or do I want to go with this new person who I don't know them from Adam, I don't know anything about them, I'm just getting to know them, but they're so engaging, they're so alluring, they're so fun, I can tell they're attracted to me, I'm not really into them, but you know how that goes sometimes, Aquarius, you're like, oh, like the more you get to know the person, the more you're like, yes, I would drop my drawers for you, Not everybody's like that, but that does happen sometimes. I almost said something slightly inappropriate. Anyway, so for some of you, it will be a choice between these two people, who you want to rock with, who you want to get to know more, not even get to know more, who do you want to share your energy with? Where were we talking about reciprocity? Was it, at some point we talked about it, maybe in the 8 of Cups, maybe in the 8 of Wands. Reciprocity. What are you going to share with other people? You are getting to the point of knowing what you're going to share. Okay? You're evaluating that. You're trying to understand that, right? So once you understand what you bring to the table, you then will be able to discern and make sound judgment on whose energy will best complement your own, okay? Three of Cups. So that's what you're doing. Three of Cups is also a celebration card. It's not... Okay, let me go back. Slow down, Jay. So the choice between two people. Three of Cups sometimes talks about third-party energy. And third-party energy or third-party situations do not always mean cheating. I think if you've watched other tarot readers, you understand that their third-party situations can be about it can be about sort of just circumstantial things. So a third-party situation can be there's a romance or a relationship, but the third party is work. The third party is family obligations. The third party is drugs and other types of destructive behaviors. It's really about this interloper is basically it, or the seesawing between two different sides is basically what third party means. It doesn't always mean cheating. And so this is sort of what I feel. You're not with anybody. Nine of Pentacles, right? And if you are, you might be encountering somebody who's putting you in a third party situation, okay? So it is about this idea of navigating between these two people, these two energies, these two different approaches, or these two people who approach you in a different way, or different ways, Aquarius. And you're like, which one is the best for me? And Three of Cups also is that celebratory energy. So some of you might be out having things to celebrate. You might be out celebrating a birthday of a friend of yours or some other reason to live it up. And these two people might show up. You know, maybe there's a mutual friend that you all know, but you all show up to celebrate with. And that night you're like, oh my God, Prince of Wands is just, he's killing it. He's killing the game out here. He's so charming and this and that. But I'm going to sit here and slowly sip my gin and tonic, and I'm gonna it's like you're attracted to both, you feel connected to both, and you will have to negotiate or sort of not get swept up in the mode or the mood of the night, basically. Three of Cups can be very flirtatious, very lascivious, or not lascivious, not lascivious. Not lascivious, that's not the right word. Come on. Libacious is not what I want to go with, but okay. There's another L word, and it's escaped me, and they put in lascivious. Anyway. It's very, what's that word? Intoxicating. That was not the word, but that's very close to it. Intoxicating. The Three of Cups is an intoxicating energy. And so you have that potential with this outcome, is to get wrapped up in the swirl of the whole thing. Now this has taken a strong romantic skew in a lot of ways, but it doesn't have to be that. Again, this could be friends, this could be roommates or workmates, this could be it could be other types of relationships. But you are caught up, I think, Aquarius, in the potential of it working out or being ideal on either side. And part of that might be an illusion. I'm getting that. Like, part of this card is a little dreamy, you know? Because, I mean, if you go out with friends, I don't know about your friends, but sometimes it doesn't always end up nice. We all don't go home and sleep well. Some of us are throwing up in the bathroom. Some of us are out having an argument in the street. Some of us are at the bar crying. Some of us are at the bar actively, like, flirting with someone else while our partner is 2 seats away. Drama can happen when you have this celebratory 3 of Cups energy, and like I said, third party, right? So it's not rosy. It can be dicey. It can be, treading on thin ice, sort of, is the thing. So you'll have to make some clear decisions. You'll have to really, really remember why you're taking this leap of faith. What are the exact changes that you want to see in your life? What is this new road that you're trying to get on? And you're going to have to find a certain balance. I don't know what it is. I don't have that answer. You know it. I don't have it. But that's clear. And then you got the 2 of Cups right behind it. So for many of you, this is now taking a romantic turn. And just quickly, the 2 of Cups is known as one of the soulmate, quote-unquote, soulmate cards in the tarot decks. But soulmates are not always romantic. Again, it can just be someone you know and that you care for platonically, and they care and know about you platonically. And so use your own best judgment. You know your life better than I do. Now, overall energy for the month is the Star card. Your card, Aquarius. So you're in your element. What does that mean? Well, more than you're in your element. You've shown up in this reading to kind of affirm that in some way you're on the right path. Even if it is rough, even if it's tough, even if you're not getting what you want, or in the end you don't get what you want, that was what was necessary. So that's one of the things that I take when the card of the sign that I'm reading for shows up. It's like something here is what you needed to hear, or that you are being affirmed of hearing, and something that you are experiencing, either the whole thing or just a part of it, is some type of affirmation, is exactly what you needed, according to, whatever. Not according to whatever. According to your life path. According to your alignment in this universe, okay? I hope that makes sense. Now, Star card, your card, usually talks about destiny, usually talks about fated events or fated facets of your life. And also it talks about vulnerability and intuition. Vulnerability because this maiden or this female is out there on the lake feeding or I don't know why she's pouring water over a flamingo, but she is. But she's doing so while naked. She's doing so while she's completely naked, under the moonlight. It's just a whole vulnerability thing. Like, I don't know anybody in their right mind who, well, unless you have private property, is just going to go out, be butt naked near a lake, and no home in sight. So she's got to walk a little bit of distance to get back home. Like, there is just this natural there's this natural bashfulness about us when it comes to nudity or when it comes to vulnerability. It takes a lot of guts, it takes a lot of belief, it takes a lot of affirmed understanding of yourself to be naked, to be vulnerable. I'm saying that in 2 different ways. To actually be naked physically takes balls, okay? And to be vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable in all of your relationships, vulnerable to your own self-realization or your own understanding of yourself. That takes guts, okay? And so that's basically what's guiding you. Is it will take bravery, guts. It will take some type of fortitude for you to get really aligned with yourself. You might have to admit some harsh truths to yourself. This card doesn't necessarily speak to truth, but it does speak to, excuse me, it does speak to a certain legacy of honesty and not denying pain when it comes up, because this card also talks about healing. You can't have healing unless there's pain. Excuse me. And for you, Aquarius, you need to step up or step out of yourself and realize, okay, that was painful, whatever happened here or whatever I feel here. And I have to work on healing it, or I have to allow the healing to come into me. So that's that vulnerability part. 1 second. All right, sorry, Aquarius, I had to get a drink of water there. So yeah, you have to be open to vulnerability. You have to be open to the healing, to the being broken before you're actually able to rebuild yourself, to be brave, to take that leap of faith. You have to be open to recognizing your own independence and your own stability and your own level of fabulousness. Just be open, be open, be open. It's in your nature, Aquarius, to be open. Like, of all the fixed signs, you're probably the most open. I'm gonna probably say that's true. Excuse me. And so, use that. Rely on that. Because you're capable. You know, you, Aquarius, you embrace the differences in this world. You are one of the signs that really allow others to be who they are and not really ever fully reject them. Or, yeah, integration, acceptance, that's like the name of your game. So apply that to yourself. Accept yourself. Integrate with yourself. You know, don't give yourself such a hard time if you've fallen short in the past or if you've been disappointed or hurt in the past. Don't think that that is all you are able to accomplish or experience in this world. And don't, just don't hold yourself to a certain standard. That would be kind of defeatist. All right, Aquarius. That's your reading for... Excuse me, 1 second. Alright, Aquarius, I'm really going to let you go this time. That was your reading for September. I had something caught in my throat, and I think it's still there. This is your reading for September. I hope you liked what you saw here. If you did, hit the like button. Feel free to comment as well if it resonated with you. Also, feel free to share the video and subscribe to the channel. I've told all the signs previous to you, and the only one left is Pisces. Part of my reason for creating this channel was because I've reached a point in my life where I've taken a lot in terms of tarot and astrology, and I'm still learning, of course, but I've gotten to a point where I felt really inspired to kind of share what I know and share my gift, which is that of empathy, which is that of a little bit of clairvoyance, a little bit of claircognizance, and things like that. And so that was why I started this channel. And I would love to connect with more people. I've loved connecting with those who have reached out to me already and those who I've had correspondence with already. I've enjoyed it. But I would like to see that grow. And that's simply because I think energetically, the more that we give of whatever our gifts are in this world, we all have different gifts, right? So the more that you give that out to as many people as possible, to as many people... Thank you. Sort of like in a wide net sort of way, the better, in my opinion. And so, in order for me to reach that goal, I've chosen the platform of YouTube thus far. There will be other platforms along the way that I choose. And so, in order to gain more people who see these videos, who interact and connect with me, I would need more likes, I would need more comments, I would need more shares, and I would need more subscriptions, because that's the kind of thing YouTube likes. It's not about ego, it's not about money, it's definitely not about the money. It really is about the connection with other people. I would be very happy if I did this the entire time and no one ever reached out to me for a reading. Like, I welcome that, if that's what you want, if that's what you desire, but if suddenly it was never ever anybody ever wanted a reading with me, but people watched my stuff, cool, I'm fine with that as well. So that's my spiel for, interacting with the channel more. If you feel inclined to do so, please do so. If you don't like that, if you don't care about my goal, if you don't really like my channel, that's fine too. I accept all of it. I'm well protected, so I accept all that. Anyway, I will be back in about 2 or 3 weeks' time when I do your October readings. At that time, Aquarius, I thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.